I'm joined by Arcy Drive from Northport, Long Island. You guys are on tour, and you guys have a busy day here ahead. You were stopping, picking up some gear at a music shop, I take it?
Yes, sir. Yeah, walking out of it right now.
So being on tour, I heard a cool story about you guys. With your tour bus / school bus, you guys really kind of took that to another level.
Yeah, that was kind of like our vehicle up until this tour. It broke down, and now we're in a little van for the time being, but hopefully the bus will be back.
Oh, no, it broke down, eh? Oh, so I guess you should stick to playing music and not building and fixing school buses, right?
Yeah, no fixing of the school bus right now.
We've had the school bus for I'd say almost 3 years. We renovated it all by ourselves, bought it at literally a school bus lot in New York, and picked it up, took all the seats out, and just, made bunk beds and did the whole thing. It's got a sink, not a bathroom, which is honestly a good thing because it's a 30-foot bus. We've been touring in that. It was kind of like our little stick because no one else travels in a school bus because it's really not that smart to do, kind of, because school buses, they're not really fit to travel around the country 3 times in a row.
No doubt.
So they're kind of meant to go from point A to point B, a couple miles. So it was good for a really long time. And then we headed out on the road, I think the beginning of March. We had to do a frat show in Georgia and something in Austin, Texas. And we were 2 days into our route, and we stopped at a gas station, and the bus just broke down. It was horrible. It really stunk. And it was 4 a.m. in the morning. We were at a Buc-ee's. Have you ever been to a Buc-ee's?
I've never heard of Buc-ee's, no.
Oh, so you haven't done a lot of road tripping in America?
No, well, we're up here in Canada, so we haven't. We've only done it a few times, yeah. Made a few trips down to Louisville, but I think that's about as far south as we've been road tripping. Yeah. So I don't recall seeing a Buc-ee's, but explain it to me. What's a Buc-ee's?
It's a huge gas station that has literally everything. It's just, what is their mascot, Nick? What is it? Is it a
beaver?
It's a beaver.
Yeah.
It's a huge, it honestly looks like a big supermarket, and it has merch, it has food, probably not the best food for you. That's America, but I'm just talking now.
Right, but obviously it didn't, this little mishap, I guess, didn't slow you guys down. You're still on tour with Flipturn, and as I mentioned, us being in Canada, you're kind of coming our way in a couple days. You're going to be stopping at the Danforth Music Hall in Toronto on March 29th, and then the following night in Montreal, Quebec. Yeah, you looking forward to coming to Canada?
We're stoked for Canada. We played in Toronto last tour, during our headline tour, and it was amazing. We're excited to get back up there.
I feel like the fans in Toronto, they hit different.
We actually have somehow it came to our attention that somebody made a sign for our Toronto show coming up, and they want to come on stage and play Roll My Stone with us, so we're going to make that happen too.
Oh, wow. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be super fun.
You mentioned that song. That was kind of your first song of your guys' career, but you guys have some brand new songs and a brand new album that's going to be coming out less than a month, April 18th, The Pit. Mm-hmm. So tell me everything about this brand new album.
This album is compiled of songs that we've had for a couple years now. We started just none of us were really musicians, and we kind of just did it as a hobby. We're all hometown friends. And we just kind of started doing it just for the fun of playing. And we decided that we wanted to take some time to actually have a couple months of just focusing just on the album. So it's 13 songs. One is a bonus track, and it's all just totally different genres. It's kind of crazy. But it's just a fun collection of songs that we've written throughout probably 2-3 years.
It's our first cohesive studio project too, because in the past, like Brooke said, we didn't know what we were doing. We recorded our attic sessions all live in one day. It was literally one day, one, maybe 2 takes per song, and just ripped through them in 3 to 4 hours. And then our EP, we recorded in California while we were on the road. And then this time, like Brooke said, we actually allotted ourselves a certain amount of time to get into a room together and really workshop everything and try and have a cohesive, kind of our first studio album. So definitely excited for it, considering, kind of where we came from versus what's coming out now.
Yeah, I had the chance to listen to some of the unreleased tracks, Recipe Inching Up really stands out to me. But I understand you guys have been playing some of these new songs that haven't really been released yet. You've been already playing some of them live, right? So what are some of those songs, I guess, that seem to be grabbing the audience's attention?
We've been playing Rocket Chair, which is actually coming out on April 4th. It's our last single off the album. Rocket Chair is definitely by far my favorite song. It's very like rocky, kind of psychedelic, and it starts with just Nick singing, and then like the band kind of comes in, and it just is a really nice song. That has gotten a lot of Nick is laughing at me. I don't know why. Gotten really good feedback from that song. I think people really like that one. It shows like definitely a more rocky side to our music. So, yeah, Rocket. What else have we been playing, Pat?
I guess The Itch is one that we actually released, but that was like kind of coming into tour and everything. That's like a newer one that we haven't been playing live too much. We also played last night for the first time in a while the bonus track off the album, which is What's in My Head. That's going to be coming out after the album a little bit. And that went pretty well. We kind of shook the rust off and played that. And then, yeah, we're just talking about like other new songs that could be thrown into the set possibly. But Rocket Chair is one that really stands out. It's like, that's also one of my favorite ones to play live. I think it's super cool and has like a lot of different feelings in it. So that's one that definitely stands out as the newer one that isn't released we've been playing. When
I was listening to you guys, and especially to the new album, I was definitely hearing bands that I love, like Cage the Elephant. I was hearing some Peach Pit, The Strokes, Violent Femmes. But what do you guys think? What are some of the bands, I guess, that you guys grew up listening to and that have influenced you guys and your music?
No, that's really cool, man. That, like, a couple of those bands are a lot of my big inspirations into writing. Like Cage and Strokes, Femmes. That's cool. That's cool you hear it, because, like, definitely it's a lot of that influence in this project, at least. But
right. And what about everyone else? Is that what do you guys feel, or what were you influenced by and you bring to your band now?
I think everyone has something different, but I know, to speak for myself, I grew up on like a lot of classic rock from my dad and a bunch of different vibe there, and then my mom was a dancer, so she had a lot of like groovy, funkier stuff, and like honestly just a bunch of different types of music. And so I don't have a singular one that's like, I don't know, the one that I remember too most. The first like full-length album I ever listened to was my dad's old Santana Brazos album, and then Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. Those were the first two like full records I've ever like listened to start to finish when I was young. But other than that, yeah, listening to a lot of old stuff growing up. Austin?
Yeah, I grew up listening to like folk and rock. Kings of Leon, I really like that. As I got older, I'm kind of into everything. Twin Peaks is huge. As in terms of growing up, really just classic rock.
Right on.
You probably heard some Inching Up. That makes sense, because I'm trying to think of any sort of correlation to Peach Pit on this project. It has to be, I guess, the bass and Inching Up, or like the whole rhythm of it.
Yeah, I just saw them live recently, and it just popped into my head, and I don't know how much I can rely on that on my observations, I guess, but yeah, it just popped into my mind, and I was like, it just reminded me of that anyway. So
yeah,
but yeah,
quirky. It's like that song's like the quirkiest of this album, and I feel like Peach could be a little quirky sometimes, in a good way.
So you guys, you're still a young band. You've only been formed, I guess, and together for a few years, I guess, right? So, and then you guys put together, your EP that you guys talked about earlier, and your single, Roll My Stone. And then you guys went out on a tour, and you guys weren't just playing in the parking lot at Buc-ee's or kids' birthday parties, right? You guys were playing on stage at Lollapalooza, Bonnaroo, South by Southwest. So how did that happen for such a new band?
I don't know.
It's kind of crazy. I honestly think it was like, in a way, social media kind of got our foot in the door, and to make connections with the right people, people just kind of started to hear of us. And then, yeah, we ended up getting a booking agent, and then it kind of just all started going. And just hasn't really stopped.
Well, I don't anticipate it stopping for you guys anytime soon, so we're looking forward to seeing you guys up in Canada at the Danforth Music Hall on March 29th, and then the following night in Quebec. For anyone else that wants to check them out, head to arcydrive.com or follow them on, as you mentioned, all the different social media platforms. So, Arcy Drive, thank you very much for taking the time with me, and have a great tour. Looking forward to the new album.
Thank you so much.
Cheers, guys. Safe travels. Bye.